Okay, next one, that's my next favorite. Liechtenstein. Hawaii. So Hawaii likeness. Or you can, let's go Hawaii likeness. Let's go that way.
No, that's not it.
No, roll sorry.
Yeah, you go.
You give a
Earwig.
No, he said
She can say anything backwards. Say anything backwards.
live streaming.
I know. I was wondering how you would do
Theater. Huh? Theater. Theater. Yeah. We're gonna do some theater, guys.
Find something to be a table. Be part of the show.
You're a regular athlete. We'll make it classic. Hey! Woo! I feel honored that you allowed me to do this. Perfect.
You should have hired somebody to be a table.
Looks like a piece of modern art.
That's
a
patron. That's a patron gift, right?
Right, yeah.
We use travel bags in.
I don't know who paid for that, but you'd be surprised, I
surprised.
guess. Everybody's got their thing. All right, hey guys, thank you so much for coming.
Woo!
So this show is it's not 100% ready. I've been rewriting it nonstop since January. I feel pretty happy with this rewrite. It's probably going to stick. It is not memorized yet because I still have 3 weeks until I have to have it memorized. So I'm still working on that. So I will be reading off of this a little bit. So I apologize for that. But I wanted to share it with you guys before I take it up to Canada because otherwise you're not going to see it until who ever knows. Yeah, sometime in the future. Thank you so much, Kim and Justin, for letting me use Dauntless. And all of you for being here. Just want to say again, keep in mind this is somewhat not a work in progress, but it's fluid. There might be some fluidity to it tonight. So I apologize if that happens. I also want to preface this with saying there are things in this story that as a now 34-year-old man, I am not proud happened. But in the interest of keeping the story true, I have removed those things. And I will probably point at least one of them out to you when it comes up.
gonna make us guess.
Huh?
You're not gonna make us guess.
I'll make you guess it'll be all over the place. Everyone has different morals, you know.
I'd like to get
Only one of these is false.
This is a true story of danger and salvation. A story of misplacement and reclamation. A story of two broken people, a friend, and a nation. This is a story of love. We outran a tornado in Evansville. The sky was green, the air was cold. Made it further on down the road, pulled the car over. Watched the lightning crackle in the storm. There's all kinds of love in this world. All kinds of people, all kinds of hurt. There's all kinds of places you can go. Cling tight to anywhere. Feels like home. If you seek love, seek it honest. You seek adventure, seek it with promise. If you seek friendship, seek someone who would march with you into hell. If you seek love, start with yourself. We got pulled over outside of Texarkana. The cop just laughed, let us go. Found a cheap motel, the kind of place that roaches dwell. We drank and sang every single song we know. You can find anything that you look for. You can find the time, you can find the mind. You can find the strength to go and keep on going. You can find a path, find your smile. If you seek love, seek it honest. If you seek adventure, seek it with promise. If you seek friendship, seek someone who would march with you into hell. If you seek love, start with yourself. Dinosaurs, blue whales, midnight diners, old gas stations, a slice of American pie, a sense of freedom, freedom from longing, when your faith into the myth becomes to life. If you seek love, seek it honest. You seek adventure, seek it with promise. If you seek friendship, seek someone who would march with you into hell. If you seek love, start with yourself. If you seek love, start with yourself. last song for Sarah. Let's begin at the end. She finds me in the video saloon, one of Bloomington, Indiana's finest treasures, a true dive bar. History's blessed in measures with barely working arcade basketball games, dollar wells, and pitchers of beer so cheap you can taste the penny copper on your tongue. The bouncer was the bass player for a band called The Fights that had one music video on MTV their first year on the air. He now sits on a bar stool every night, beer belly and waxing gibbous, combing his smooth, back-length silver hair, parted down the middle, always dressed in black. Shiny, tinted aviators perched across the bridge of his nose, sitting across the way from a poster for The Fights, his own band, in their heyday. Night after night, he sits analyzing the flow of regulars and wanderers and the occasional youngster with a fake ID. Once throwing a punch to knock out an angry man refusing to take no from a small red-headed girl in purple, tossing it out to the street like an ejected VHS tape all tangled and worn. Then, retaking his tired leather throne across from the shrine to his days of glory, simultaneously welcoming the defeat and escaping to rev it at the red light in memory. It's my very favorite bar. She finds me in the video saloon on a snowy January night. I don't know how. I merely turn from the corner where I'm making a call, and she's there. My blood pressure rises. She approaches me and looks up at me, big brown eyes welling with tears. Eyes I once thought hung the stars. Eyes I once thought were only for me. She and her eyes look at me and they say, I miss you. I still love you. Take me back, please. I know I was wrong. I know I hurt you. Please. I can't live without you now. I know that. Please. I broke off the engagement. Everything will be different now. You know it will. Come back to me. Come back to me again. I look down at those eyes that once weakened me, that once could, with a half-second flash of anger, bring me cowering to the floor, or with a sparkle, bring me dropping to a knee. I look down at her eyes, and I say, no, and I leave. It seems harsh, but friends, wait until the story begins. I am no angel, but she is something else indeed, and it's my time that she loved, not me. So I turn from her without looking back as she crumples to the ground behind me in tears. If I never, no, nay, never see her again, it would be too soon by 100 years. Bloomington, Indiana, 2005. I'm a sophomore at university, majoring in theater. My best friends are two guys named Dave. They're each named Dave. It's not like not one person masquerading as two guys named Dave. It's not some kind of Dave Gestalt situation. It's two individuals named Dave. This show is only about one of those two guys, which you'll henceforth be referred to as Dave. Anyway, it's our sophomore year. It's just started, and Dave and I have become roommates. Dave and I met in the dorms without even meaning to. The dorm floor that I picked at random happened to be the music major floor. So I was the lone theater kid, surrounded by pretentious, overly stoned jazz guitarists, quiet, aspiring music teachers, and composers with rich parents and a perennial turned up nose. Dave, a classically trained bass player in a noise rock band called Cesspool, was the other odd man out. We hit it off immediately. He's from a large Jewish family. I'm from a large Catholic family. His mother and sister are very prominent in his life and they guide his decisions. My mother and sister died at a young age. Their memory guides my decisions. He plays bass, I play guitar. We harmonize beautifully. I'm a little bit country, he's a little bit rock and roll. I show him Dolly Parton and George Jones, and he shows me Primus and Joy Division. We both value melody and accessibility. We share political views and positivity. We joke about forming a gang called the Positivity Pals and roaming around the country in a pink Cadillac, making friends, solving mysteries, and beating up Nazis with sparkling baby. America could use the Positivity Pals today. Dave is logical and intelligent. He's studying economics and has a brain that tackles math problems before I can even understand what the question is. Despite this, he dreams of being an empath. He wants to be everywhere, know everyone, understand everything. I'm emotional and sensitive. My heart does the driving and often chloroforms my brain. I often wish I could give up my empathic ability in the name of inner peace. We both love animals. I'm hoping to get a double major in zoanthropology. Spoiler alert, I do not need this. And I can rattle off facts at the zoo. Dave melts into a puddle around any dog or cat we encounter, his logical brain becoming a mess of baby noises and cuddles. We both agree that animals are the best things in the world, except for ostriches. Fuck ostriches. We work well together. Each providing a main line to what the other person's like. The very few disagreements or fights we ever have are all resolved quickly with a hug and understanding. This is true friendship. That special kind of friend love that you need so badly in those formative college years. We're thankful for each other and learning about life together daily as a team. One day after band practice, Dave brings home a 6-pack of beer and a copy of Rolling Stone magazine's 500 greatest songs of all time. We are so excited! We crack open beers and we read the list, offering our own commentary along the way. We're thrilled to see Iggy Pop included. We're confused when newer bands like Coldplay make the cut. We roll our eyes as hard as we can when we get to number 1, which is Bob Dylan's Like a Rolling Stone. It's a good song. It's a little on the nose, Rolling Stone magazine. We spend the night drinking and laughing and arguing and debating and listening to the songs that better speak to their marriage and their boss. And before we know it, the dawn is breaking. It's early morning. We have class in a few hours. Through the haze of sleeplessness and alcohol, an idea forms in front of us. Let's make our own lists. We're spending all this time talking about some other people's subjective views of a subjective medium. Why not just do it ourselves, for ourselves? We start to get excited. We draw up some rules. Rule number 1, the ego clause. No songs we wrote, co-wrote, inspired, played on, none of that nonsense. We don't actually think either of us can do this, but better to have it out there. Rule number 2, the time stamp. From the moment of the handshake to the start of the project, we have 2 years to complete the list. We decide that 2 years is exactly the right amount of time you need to decide if a song really matters to you or if it's just a passing phase. Looking at you, my stack of 40 reggae CDs. Rule number 3, this is happening. No backing out. Our senior year, 2 years from then, at spring break, we will take a road trip and listen to all 1,000 songs. We decided to do cities known for music or inspiring music. New York, Nashville, Memphis, Austin, Texas. We're ready for adventure. We're ready to find out if life is a highway, to drive until we blister in the sun. Let me go out. There's all kinds of different love in the world. We're ready to learn about one more. Love of the world. A handshake, an excited smile. We turn in for the night. I don't sleep away. The first year is spent gathering. I listened to every CD and MP3 I own, taking better notes than I did in any of my classes. I watch MTV2 and Much Music daily. I listen to oldies radio and 90s radio. This is before 90s radio was oldies radio. Reveling, discarding, burning, loving. The mind is a fickle thing, and music is an emotional torrent. And I've knocked down the floodgates, and I'm doing my best to keep swimming against the current. I write down every single song I think could possibly be a contender. My initial list, after months of building, is roughly 5,000 songs. These are in no semblance of order, merely jotted down in my worn spiral notebook with my serial killer, Dr. Scrawl. And now the real work begins. How to rate, how to choose. Songs are so powerful for so many different reasons. They affect you in so many different ways. I decide that's the key. Do these songs matter to me? I go back through the list, asking that simple question for every song along the way. If the answer is no, it's stricken with black Sharpie. If the answer is yes, yellow highlighted as a to show me which songs to cycle back into the next phase of selection. I worked through all of my classes. My theater history class is the perfect workspace. The professor was an elderly man with the speed and speech patterns of a strong, rattling off facts about Euripides and Moliere, while I write and ride with Sunken Nancy and Cat Stevens. My friends gathered around me, David, watching me work with a combination of awe and possibly fear, as my notebook turns more and more into a scene from a beautiful mind, full of colors and scribbles and charts and graphs. I spend every waking hour at home listening and re-listening to songs, laboring over their merit and work for my personal growth, cutting and uncutting, spiraling in and out of the musical depression, unwilling to kill my darlings, but forced to find critical pride. After a few months, I have the list down to 1,000. After another month, it's down to 700. 2 months later, I get it down to 550, and now the real pain begins. I ache for hours one day over whether or not to include B.B. King. The thrill is gone. Ultimately deciding it's about 30 seconds too long, and forcing my fingers to move the pen across the title, reassuring myself that B.B. and Lucille will appear on several other places throughout the list. The final cut will contain Riding with the King and How Blue Can You Get? Entire albums from my punk rock and heavy metal phase are eliminated. I wave goodbye to the passing phases of Slipknot, MXPX, and Soulfly, finding with surprise that my heart lay more in tandem with melodic music of Seven Dust, the irreverence of the Dead Kennedys, and a straight-up bruiser power of King. Dave and I mostly keep our list and process a secret from each other. He knows I'm working mainly off of notebooks and CDs, and I envy his daily walks with his iPad. Hours spent strolling the beautiful IU campus doing internal mental work. Oh, would I kill for one of those magical black boxes to contain all of my songs as I sit buried amongst hundreds of burned CDs and tirelessly turning the radio dial. I know that Dave is preparing to play several songs from my least favorite band, Radiohead, on his list, as he is determined to change my mind about them on their trip. He laughs when he discovers that nearly the entire albums of both O by Damien Rice and Pinkerton by Weezer have made my final list. And I'm convinced to prove that they've earned their place. We both have nearly all of Abbey Road by the Beatles on our list, but different songs in different places. Together we can make the entire record. It's a true testament to the eclecticism and staying power of the four chaps from Liverpool. Eventually I have my 500. My final few, my elite team of movers and shakers, and now begins the rankings. Dave and I discuss at length what exactly the best way to do this is, and we eventually agree to each take our own method. Dave, as the logical, mathematic brain whiz kid, is going to do a true beat-by-beat list, letting the songs cruelly battle it out to find their place. I, the sensitive heart on his sleeve type, am going to break the songs into chunks of 25, building each 25 as a mixtape with a strong opener and closer, giving my list more of a general flow. I never liked confrontation. The process of organization is, however, more of a challenge. I develop a star system and go through attributing 1 to 5 stars to each of the songs that I've highlighted in my notebooks, and just hoping it gets told this will work out the way that I intended to. And the world seems to sway in my favor. The universe moves in me, and the star system helps me break them into 500 chunks, 5 chunks of 100 songs each. Everything is working out perfectly. So, of course, I overlook the karmic kick in the ass I'm receiving simultaneously with this girl I met a few weeks ago at a party. Enter Sarah. Met a girl, hit it off, took her out, met her mom, on an accelerated course of love and happiness. Quite along. Said I love you. I moved in. Everything's getting better and better and better, and I can't imagine how it could ever go wrong. I'm your grasshopper and you're my baby dog. We do everything together, whether we like it or not. I found your smile. You found my smile. This is a gift from above. Oh, oh, oh. Guess it's love. Sarah and I meet at a party. I'm seeing someone at the time, but in a few weeks I end it when I realize I can't stop thinking about her. I feel alive around her. Our relationship moves like quicksilver. We stand by each other. We know it's love, true love, real love. I call her baby doll because she's beautiful and small. She calls me grasshopper because I guess I reminded her of grasshopper. I don't know. Everything's going great. My friends love her. She loves them, except for the ones that she won't let into our little second floor apartment. All of her things, all of mine are in storage. I love dumb comedies and the X-Men. She's got 2 DVD copies of every season of Friends, just in case one ever goes bad. That's a red flag that I probably should notice. I'm your grasshopper, yeah, you're my baby doll. We do everything together, whether you like it or not. Found your smile, you found my smile. This is a gift from above. Oh, 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 I guess it's love. Sarah's a little overprotective, it's true. At around 3 months, a coworker asked me on a date, unaware that I'm in a relationship. I thank her and say no, as I'm happily taken. She apologizes, we think nothing of it. Sarah finds the email the next day and is so angry that I didn't tell her that she spends a whole 6 hours screaming at me. She tells me I'm worthless, that my friends should find out what a terrible human I am. She tells me they'd be disappointed. She tells me my mother and sister would be disappointed. I get up and leave. She leads me down the hallway, apologizing through tears, and I return. We forgive each other. Neither of us means it. 6 months together, we're living in a little apartment outside of town. She uses that one message against me constantly. She's determined that none of my friends are trustworthy, and I'm forbidden from seeing most of them, excepting the Daves. If I try to make a stand about something, she flings insults in my face. Sometimes she flings fists in my face. She leaves bite marks on my arm and bruises from hooks thrown on my back. I'm acting in a play that's 45 minutes away. I'm late to rehearsal because she won't let me leave. She waits until it's time for me to go and starts crying about something that we've long since resolved. When I move to leave the drive, she accuses me of valuing work over her. Calls me heartless and evil. She screams and throws things, and I make my way to the door, and as I do, she digs her nails into my arm, drawing blood as I pull away. I drive to the call, tears in my eyes, singing along to the mountains. I'm gonna make it through this year if it kills me. 1 year and 5 months just before the 500 trip, I'm lost and defeated. My friends call me the ghost, because I barely exist. I live in fear, sadness. We're driving somewhere together, and I'm telling a story about my dad and a woman he dated before being my stepmother. Sarah doesn't respond. I look at her and she looks angry. I ask, what's wrong? So your dad dated around before meeting your stepmom after your mom died? Yeah. What are you getting at? I just thought that they got together because they knew each other before and she helped him through his grief. Yeah, that's still true. What are you getting at? I just think that it's wrong for a person to date after their spouse dies. Suddenly the universe moves. Something snaps. All these months of abuse and hurt and shrinking from myself and becoming a phantom of a man, none of it was worth this woman insulting my father, a man who's been through more than any man I know and still functions as a beautiful, loving human being. I will take no more of it. I screech the car to a halt on the side of the road and I take a deep breath. You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Sarah recoils in shock. I see the wheels turning in her mind. That familiar rage about to loose. When suddenly, Dave appears on our windshield, knocking on the glass and sticking out his tongue and making faces and laughing. He opens the door and hops into the back seat of the car. Hey guys, what's going on? Sarah and I meet eyes. We silently breathe the moments past and to move on. We laugh, and the three of us drive off together, me narrowly missing my window of escape. Sarah and I head home. A broken baby doll on a shelf. A grasshopper in a jar. I'm your grasshopper, you're my baby doll. We do everything together, whether we like it or not. Found my smile, found your smile. This is a gift from above. Oh, 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 oh. Yes, it's love.
Yeah.
It's the day before the trip. The trip is the only thing that Sarah has not been able to take away from me. We've been planning it longer than I've known her, so there's nothing she can say. It will be our first long period apart as a couple, and we still owe each other gifts for anniversary because money got a little tight. We decided to get presents for each other the day before, something to hold in our hearts as we're apart for a week. Sarah and I exchanged our gifts. We opened them at the same time. I got her a shiny red electric guitar. She'd been talking about wanting to play for a long time. She got me an iPod. She wanted me to have something better for the list for the trip, so I wouldn't be dealing with the giant spirals of burnt CDs all around. We look at the gifts, we look at each other. And in that moment, we see what we saw in each other a year and a half ago. Just two broken people trying to find each other's smile. Two hearts beating, two souls touching. Sarah breaks down in tears. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for everything. I've been horrible. I've been terrible. We've gotten so far away from what we were. I want to start over. Don't you want to start over? I do. Let's take this week. Let's spend the week truly apart. We'll call it a break. When we get home, we'll start fresh. Start from scratch, a whole new relationship. So like if you need to like hook up with somebody over this week, I would totally understand. I wouldn't be upset. I spend most of the night adding music to the iPod while Sarah sleeps. I think long and hard about all of her words, especially that last little bit. Next morning comes. I'm on cloud 9. Sarah and I hug and kiss goodbye. I hop into Dave's 95 Honda Accord. We lock eyes, shake hands, and we begin. We're gonna trade off chunks of 25 songs. Dave's gonna go first. We're both really excited about our number 500. I've chosen a hilarious mashup of Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit and Destiny's Child's Bootylicious, called Smells Like Teen Booty. It's important to me to start the list with a sense of humor. Dave had the same idea. As soon as his engine fires up, his 500 plays, and it shares singing, "Do you believe in life after love?" We laugh, we sing along, and head down the road, seeking adventure with every bit of honesty in our hearts. The drive to New York was not without incident. Dave grew up in Michigan, where they salt the roads every winter. He was not used to driving in black ice. About 7 hours in, during the Dead Kennedys, California, move around us. He loses control, and we spin out across the highway into a ditch full of 3 feet of snow. Dave's having a panic attack. I'm a veteran. I've been in my share of traffic incidents. So I do my best to calm him down as we listen to Jello, we offer a warble away, and we wait roadside assistance. Eventually, a cop with a tow rig shows up and pulls us back onto the highway. We thank him and continue. But Dave is a changed man. Some Santeria has clouded his perception. Now he thinks he's speeding down the highway and shaking in fear, but in actuality, he is unable to drive faster than 10 miles an hour. I convince him to pull over and let me drive. And as soon as he hits the passenger seat, he passes right out, stress overtaking his mind. I pause the list and let him sleep and drive off into the night. My mind going much faster than 10 miles an hour. I call Sarah. No answer. Dave awakens. We resume the list. The Proclaimers and SR-71 breeze by while I tell him the conversation I had with Sarah the night before. Dave tries to hide his excitement, but is bad at it. Dude, she's totally planning on cheating on you in Florida. I promise. I bet money on it. I bet she's already cheating on you. Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Oh, okay. Look. I don't mean to do that. I'm not trying to. Okay, listen. Just take this week. Be apart from her. See how it feels. He says the words I'd already been thinking but was afraid to say. I have flashes of memories of times I suspected her infidelity and the resulting physical attacks and turnarounds on to me accusing me of greater sins. Something starts to stir. The universe moves. Soon, we see lights ahead of us. New York City! We are surprised to find that you must pay $25 to drive into the city. Of course, New York is a cover charge. We drive to our friend's place and we park. Our friend Buzz is a party animal. A cynical, grumpy grump who loves his whiskey and loves his friends even more, but would never dare say it out loud. The kind of guy who says, "Fuck you, dumbass," and you can hear it dripping with "I love you, dear." He shows us New York. He teaches us to love the grime and hate the pigeons. Fuck pigeons, but not as bad as ostriches. Fuck ostriches. Ostriches are. Why are ostriches? It's horrible. The big, giant, you know they can kill you with a kick? Did you know this? Horrible animals. I digress. Buzz takes us to a local bar. We meet up with some of his friends and we drink into the wee hours. Buzz finds out about my conversation with Sarah. He remembers her well. He gives me a big hug and says, "She's not worth it, buddy. I promise you. She's been doing you wrong. I saw it. I didn't want to say anything, but I knew. Buzz introduces me to his friend Elise. She's beautiful, fun. We talk for a while. I get up to use the bathroom. When I come back, I find the bar completely empty. Except for Elise. I sent them all home. Let's talk. And we do. Until we're not talking. I hate the sun, I would trust the night. The heat feels bad, cold feels too right. I got no money, I got so much time. I feel you shiver and you catch my smile. We're coming in now from the cold. We're coming in now from the cold. We're coming in now from the cold. If we can't fight, we turn on the light. I feel you reaching and you take my hand. Wow, 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 wow. And through the dark, I feel you understand. Wow, 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 wow. We move from the couch to the bedroom floor. The wind's moving in through the cracks in the door. We're coming in now from the cold. We're coming in now from the cold. We're coming now from the cold. When we can't fight and we turn on the light. The bed breaks down because we're broken this trust. The bulbs burn out because they turned on us. We're coming in now from the cold. We're coming in now from the cold. We're coming now from the cold, but we can't fight. Oh, we're coming in now from the cold. Yeah, we're coming in now from the cold. can't fight eternal night. Eternal night. Eternal night. I went the next morning to my cafe with David sitting. My goodbye with Elise was awkward. I'd never done anything like that before. She handled it sweetly, sending me on my way. David and I meet up and I put on my best everything is cool expression. And we see the sights of the city. We decide the best use of our time to make sure that we do get through all 1,000 songs is to drive around the city for a few hours and listen to the lists. We stop and go in the gridlock traffic and work our way 50 to 75 range of tunes. Aha and Men at Work, Ani DeFranco and Tori Amos. We make a game out of matching the hand movements of people trying to hail cabs as we drive by. And we are met with laughter, confusion, and quite a few dismissals. Lou Reed sings Andy's Chest, number 415 on my list, as we pull up to the 9/11 memorial. We get out, we take it in silence, marveling at how quickly and intensely life can change. My Aunt Amy works in the city and she meets us there. She tells us how she was on a morning jog through the city. She's a marathon runner. And just outside the towers when the first plane hit. She grabbed the two people next to her, spun them around, jaws agape, and forced them to run with her in the other direction, spurring others to do the same. She said the dust cloud covered everything, bringing darkness to the city of lights. We walk and talk and laugh for a while, and Amy reminisces about chasing me around the room as a toddler in San Francisco to Blondie's One Way. Oh, another, I'm gonna find you, and I'm gonna get you. And I would scream with glee. I tell her, spoilers, that song is number 87 on my list, as it's tied to that memory that I so cherish. Ames introduced me to so many of the acts that fill up my list. Lou Reed, Bowie, the band 3 Dog Night, and Amy by the True Fairy League, number 222. We part ways with Ames and we meet up with some pals for one last night drinking at the library bar. We let out a rebel yell, we rant and we roar, we cheers, darling, and spin right round like a record, baby, and the piano has been drinking, not me. We shake hands, hug bodies, and kiss faces goodnight. Prepare to leave the lights of the city behind us, singing a farewell, and I'll always love you. We rise with the sun the next day and begin our pilgrimage to Nashville. I wanted to go my whole life. I grew up on country music, and at this time have no idea that I will in the future be working in that industry. But when we arrive, we find it to be a bit of a letdown. We know no one in the city, so we check into our Motel 8 and head down to the main drag of downtown. Every single bar has a country band playing in it, but the whole thing feels so lifeless. We pass bar after bar of friends in low places and work at 9 to 5, but all we really find are overpriced drinks and underpaid musicians, and a general sense of despair in the atmosphere. We stop at the diviest, punkiest bar we can find and watch a band of 40-somethings totally blister their way through the Stones. Send me dead flowers on my wedding. I won't forget to put roses on your grave. These are our people. We eventually tire enough to turn in and begin to walk back home. We decide this town's got nothing we want. We'll instead spend an extra day in Memphis. Boy, would we need that extra day. I call Sarah. No answer. Halfway between Nashville and Memphis, we see it. So small you'd miss it without a passenger on the lookout. Truly a miracle that I spied it at all. A small hand-painted roadside, looking for all the world like a piece of driftwood and white paint. A prank from a local Huckleberry Finn. But it's there in front of us, and I see it, and my eyes light up like the 4th of July. Cheer Jennings, number 440 on my list. Safari, next right. Dave. He looks. He sees. Our eyes meet. In unison, we nod our heads. Yeah! We're now more excited to be than the entire trip. The possibilities running rampant in our brains. What could a safari in Tennessee be? We know the likelihood of lions and tigers and bears to be nigh impossible. But what could we find? In the back of our minds, we're preparing for it to be a disappointment. A half-assed petting zoo featuring chickens and goats and maybe a llama or a peacock, set up by a local yokel to earn a few dimes from passing travelers. But we know above all else that this will be funny. We can't wait to get to the exit. We speed up there. We need gas, so we stop at a rundown Citgo. It's the first thing we see with a sign that reads, "Politically correct is of the devil." We decide to, as quickly as possible, go in and buy some beer for the experience, just in case. The cashier overhears us talking and says, "Y'all know you can drink while driving here, right? Stay under the legal limit and drive around seeing sights." Really? Welcome to Tennessee, boys. It's at this point that I must reiterate that there are things in this story that I am not proud of at my current age. We leave the Shell station, 40s in tow, cracking open the 10 containers of garbage malt liquor, cheersing to youth and adventure. And we begin to hunt the fabled small town, Tennessee Safari. We follow signs and weave through a town. After several miles, the town disappears. We are submerged in the ocean of trees. Branches swaying like anemone in the current along with the southern breeze. Little shards of light peeking through the blackened algae cloud of elm and oak above us. Up and down hills, around two thin winding roads, we soar and coast and swerve and climb through the mysterious forest until we begin to doubt. We have no GPS phones, no internet access. This is 2008. We were both there before. Have we missed it? Are we lost? Nevertheless, we persist on our path. After what feels like an eternity of nothing but wooded darknesses, we find a little dirt side road. We turn onto it and discover in a valley below an elementary school. We stop, park, get out of the car. Pure silence. Eerie silence. We know the children must be in class. It's a Tuesday afternoon. But still, this strange house of education, situated perfectly in the middle of the forest, feels like something out of a modern fantasy novel, as if Neil Gaiman himself had his hands and pen to our future. We step into the school and are immediately greeted by a rotund, extremely jovial man who happily shakes our hands and introduces himself to us. "Principal Jones, nice to meet you." "Y'all seem like you may be lost." We eagerly agree. We shove aside the millions of questions about this mystery school, and we say, "Have you followed a sign off the highway for a safari?" "Oh, yeah! The Johnson Family Ranch Safari, yeah. Oh, you're in for a real treat, boys. You're only about 15 minutes away. You lucky ducks." We'd apparently missed a turn a few miles back. We get the direction back on the road. Our thoughts are swirled with a strange encounter. We never saw a single child. If we were to turn around again, would we even find the school where it was? Was it a mystical encounter? A Kunlun or a Narnia for the waking world, appearing only to guide lost and weary travelers on their way, and then vanish back. We travel back the way we came on a winding forest road, then further even from the start. Up and down dips and rises, round and round the bends, till we crest the tallest hill yet, and discover a magnificent clearing. A giant farmhouse lit from the 1800s. Fields stretching back behind it with grazing cattle, horses, sheep, chickens, donkeys, llamas. As we pull into the drive, we pass several zoo-sized cages containing raccoons and possums and wildcats, one even serving his home to a proud, beautiful ocelot. We step out of the car, wide-eyed, and thankful for the accurate directions from our portly principal. And we look to the front porch of the estate, where two octogenarian men sit on two matching rocking chairs. The gentlemen could very well be twins. Flannel shirts and overalls covering their protruding corn-fed stomachs. Long white hair and long white beards. Glasses tinted to block out the sun, and straw cowboy hats atop their heads. Sitting next to them are two massive dogs. Solid white mutts that might be part St. Bernard and part direwolf. But all friendly and all tired, yawning in the shining sun. The men approach and greet us. True Tennessee hospitality dripping from their gravelly throats. "Y'all looking to look around the farm or take a safari?" "Safari, please," we say in unison. surprised that there's anything more than what we can currently see, and completely unsure as to how any of this will actually work. Well, all right, man, it's $24 a person. The entrance is up yonder hill. Show your pass to the gatekeeper, drive on through. Here's some feed for the animals. Feel free to roll down your windows, feed the animals, pet them. Wouldn't get out of the car, though, on account of the buffalo. Yeah! We drive up to the entrance. We flash our pass, drive past the gate, and park for a few moments. Crack open 240s. Lift a cheers to adventure. And begin. The safari trail winds up a gravel road through the hills. We reach a clearing. It's brimming with animals. The first few clearings are not terribly exciting. Goats and llamas and the aforementioned buffalo. But we have fun petting and watching the creatures about their business. A few occasionally sticking their heads in our car to see what we're all about. Dave totally loses his shit at an adorable little pig. He's never seen a pig in person before. This is a window into his future veganism. He's like a little kid on Christmas. We take a couple photos of the little guy, and Dave reluctantly drives us to the next clearing. Finally, we get to the a massive valley that feels like a scene from Noah's Ark. Gaspers, antelopes, and gazelles leap around the car like some Disney cartoon. Water buffaloes and zebra and wildebeest mill about. No herds or packs, just a beautiful menagerie of herbivores living in harmony. We let the car park in the middle of the glen and we just enjoy the spectacle. I watch Dave giggle gleefully as a zebra tries to drink his beer. Don't worry, he doesn't let it. And I look to my right, and there it is. I don't know how, it's just there. Hard to know what it's doing. In front of my window, a challenge from a nightmare. A massive, mean-looking ostrich. My blood pressure rises. I'm frozen where I sit. Dave. Ostrich, Dave, ostrich, Dave. Dave doesn't answer. He's laughing with his new zebra friend. Unaware of my impending doom, a small goat kid approaches my window, bleating a plea for a snack from our bag of treats. I am too terrified to oblige, and the ostrich finally decides it has had enough of the piercing eyes. The giant terror bird looks down at the goat and bites it on the head, prompting it to cry out in pain and frolic back into the forest to find its mother, or some comfort from its friends. I don't know what goats do. We're alone again. Just me and this flightless monstrosity. Locked eye in a battle of wills. Who will budge first? This mutant chicken or this good egg? My arm is about 2 inches from the manual window control. If I can just get there quick enough and crank it just a few times, I'll be in the clear. I inch my finger slowly, carefully towards the hand. Freedom is so close, but so is the avian nightmare. Then, in slow motion, a tiny droplet of drool drips from the beak of the growling gargantuan and falls through the open window, tapping down lightly on my arm. I panic. I make some inhuman noise of disgust and dart my arm as fast as I can to the control, and simultaneously the bird strikes, its beak entering the portal and clamping down upon my arm. I cry out just like the baby goat, and the ostrich takes a startled step back, and I use this moment to roll up the window as fast as I can, and the ostrich paces back with me, angry that I've robbed it of the violent victory it so vehemently craved. It furiously taps on the window, harder and harder, until eventually conceding its defeat and loping back off into the forest to terrorize some other unlucky mammals some other day. The sun is setting. My arm is swelling. The beers are empty and the animals are dispersing. We know it's time to leave. We gotta make Memphis by nightfall anyhow. We take ourselves and my black and blue bicep and head back down the road, leaving the mystical safari behind. But on our way out, a small herd of ghost deer cross our path. Ghost deer are solid white but not albino, incredibly rare and incredibly beautiful. We stop the car and stare. The deer meet our eyes. For a moment, we're frozen with the majesty of it all. The deer break and leap off into the woods, signaling that our time in this magical realm tucked away in the middle of Tennessee had come to an end. We hit Memphis at midnight. We're exhausted, so we cruise around the city listening to the list for a few hours. A big chunk of the upper 300s. Dave's portion containing Rain Dogs by Tom Waits, and another few unsuccessful attempts at getting me to enjoy Radiohead. Spoiler alert, he never achieves this. My portion contains The River by Garth Brooks, which makes us too sleepy, but luckily Robert Johnson comes along next with this hot tamales and they're red hot and gets the joint jumping again. We find a bar in the city, and we go in for a spill, chatting with the locals and plotting our day the next morning. As we leave, we're approached by an energetic, friendly homeless man. I'm pleasantly drunk and having a great night, so I engage him in conversation, much to Dave's chagrin. As we speak, Dave speedwalks, eyes facing forward, hoping I'll join his pace and leave the bum behind. However, the man and I are having a lovely chat. We talk about music. He tells me the best corners of town to hear the best blues. We talk about growing up in the Midwest. We talk about losing our mothers at a young age. He cries, remembering his mother and the sweet song she was singing. We embrace as my number 3 song plays in my head. Where is my mother? Where is my mother? Has she gone to the promised land? He tells me he's trying to get into the shelter for the night. There's only one still open and it charges $15. I say, say no more, and I get $20 out of the nearest ATM. We tearfully hug once more, hold each other tight, wish each other well. He moves on. And I look up and realize Dave is nowhere to be seen. The man has already wandered off towards the shelter, and I'm alone in an unknown Memphis street. My phone's battery is dead. I do not know where I am or where we parked the car, and I am, as I aforementioned, drunk. Rain begins to fall. I retrace my steps, bounding through the glistening city streets, anything that might spur a memory or any sign of my displaced friend. The neon lights of Memphis shine bright through the weather, and I run through the purple rain, in the hopes that I'll see my friend again. Oh, I yell his name out, his forehead, and all the bars are closed, and I don't care about the attention I may attract. My call echoes through the forlorn buildings a few times, until I hear it return. Like a bat, I echolocate to the best of my ability. Hope the game is doing the same. Our ill-prepared game of Marco Polo, rebounding off Belmonts and alleyways, until I see him. He runs up to me in the rain and hugs me hard to his chest. Oh my God! I thought a hobo killed you, that you were dead forever. I was never to see you again. I thought you got thrown to the alleyway. It was my fault because I walked too fast. I don't know what I'm going to ever do that to you again, you asshole! I laugh and relate the actual events to him. He's dumbfounded, but thankful that I'm okay. We find our way to the Diz Inn, and we're asleep before our heads hit the pillow. I wake up in the middle of the night and call Sarah. No answer. The next day is excitement and tribute. This is Music City, the place where it all happened. So many interests on our lists were created here. We tour Sun Studios, home of Blue Suede Shoes and Folsom Prison Blues. We stand in the very spot the $1 Million Quartet stood and jammed brown-eyed, handsome man to no one but themselves, an enterprising engineer in that booth, the luckiest man alive that day in 1956. We tour Stack Studios, which gave the world, Hold On, I'm Coming, Soul Man, and Sitting on the Dock. Fortuitously, the Blues Brothers turned up on my list right before this moment, as band members Donald Duck Dunn and Steve Cropper played on nearly every track list they will ever produce. The tour opens our eyes and brains to things we hadn't heard or seen before, and we're both instantly forever fans of Big Mama Thornton and Sister Rosetta Tharpe. Then it's time for the big one. My Metro. We're going to Graceland, Graceland, Graceland. The King was essential to my development as an artist, and this is actually my second time making the pilgrimage. Dave is not there, but also loves him some Elvis, as Suspicious Minds was on his list, and very nearly the same spot that Burning Love was on mine. I had also just finished up a run of a musical portraying Elvis. It was a very small town in Indiana. No one questioned the 6'4" king of rock and roll. I'll treasure that experience to my dying day. We pause at Elvis's grave. We take a moment of silence. I can't help falling in love with you. This place feels like home. That night, we hit the strip one more time and find a nearly empty karaoke joint. The KJ is thrilled that we want to sing, as no one has signed up at all, and the night is getting deep. We decide to sing songs from our lists. Dave slams out a joyous rendition of Respect by Aretha. I follow up with The Temptations, Ain't Too Proud to Beg. The KJ is loving it. He's singing along in harmony and sending us drinks while the bar remains quiet. A very pretty girl and an older couple come in during my song. Our eyes lock. My blood pressure rises. I step off the stage and she's there. Great song. Thanks. You from out of town? Yeah, Indiana. Welcome to Memphis, honey. I'm Maggie. Maggie Ransom. Her name and eyes hold me to exactly that. Her namesake clearly a part of her entire being. And I can see that my heart would pay that ransom in a second if given that opportunity. Maggie and I talk for hours. And Dave befriends her parents, like a good wingman. They all give us our moments. I'm still new to this. I'm not sure I'm actually going to be able to leave Sarah when this is all said and done, so I oscillate wildly back and forth between suave and petrified. Maggie doesn't care. She oozes grace and calm sexuality. But the elephant in the room is obvious. Her parents are with her and I'm leaving town. I write off any possibility of anything happening and just enjoy the connection, the time. As soon as it's time to say goodnight, she takes my number and adds hers into my own phone. She pulls me down for a quick kiss. See you down the road, handsome. I'm stood in the doorway of the karaoke bar in awe. Dave comes by with the give me details face, and I relay all that transpired. So what, you're just gonna give up? I mean, I don't know what else to do, man. Whoa, no, man. Oh, you can't. Man, I don't even know how to flirt in person, let alone on a phone. Dave. Sweet, sweet Dave. Dave wants to be everywhere, know everyone, see everything. He needs this to happen. Dave intervenes, wanting this more for himself than for me. Some way to help me. He grabs the phone and says, just text her, hey. In 1 minute, I'm greeted with a hey back and a winky smile. Dude, ask her what she's doing. Nervously, I oblige. Within moments, I am responded with, lying in bed, can't sleep. Parents in room next to mine, I can hear them snoring. Dude. Well, she's already in bed. I should probably just tell her goodnight. Dude! Dave grabs my phone. I know it's been a while, man. He types in. I take the phone back and look. I'll be, where are you staying? The response, Heartbreak Hotel. Say you'll be there in 10 minutes. Okay. Dave shoves me out the door. My heart is pounding. Can I do this? What am I doing? What is happening here? The rain is coming down hard, pelting me with huge droplets that shatter off my dash and into the night. Then I see it through the wipers, that brilliant neon sign, that iconic image from the King's Greatest Hits. I pull into Heartbreak Hotel and I text Maggie. No response. I wait. Try again. Nothing. I call. No answer. Again. No answer. I sit there in the parking lot at the Heartbreak Hotel, the neon sign flashing in between the wiper blades and the rain. And after about an hour, I break down. It all hits me. I think of Elise in New York. I think of my weakness. I think of Sarah, my 1.5 years of pain. I remember the times that she cut me with words, cut me with claws. I remember the time I barely dodged a plate launched at my head for my insistence of innocence. I remember the time that she told me that all of my friends hated me and that they were right and that I better never leave her or I'd have no one. I remember the time I caught her in a lie, a glint of a message on her phone, a phrase, I want you now. I was treated to fists and barbs and screams of my own wrongdoing when I confronted. I think of what I let myself sink to, what I become. And then I look where I am. I think of Dave. I think of the amazing friend I have at my side and the incredible adventure that we're on. And I realize that at the very least for a few more days, I'm not alone. And I'm free. I heave and shake in the quiet, rainy parking lot for another few moments. I take a deep breath, start the car, and make my way back to the hotel. The next morning, I wake to a dozen texts apologizing for falling asleep and promises to find each other somewhere down the road. I put it all past me. I feel brand new, reborn in the sun, and ready for our last stop, Austin, Texas. The drive to Austin is a long one. We stop midway at a motel to rest. We're nearing the end of the week and learning so much about each other. The list has provided surprises and laughs. We both had Louis's teenage dirtbag at number 189. We laughed and sang it at the top of our lungs twice. Dave has shown me so many incredible songs that I otherwise would have never discovered. I'm especially moved by Antonina Johnson's Third Book, a true window into Dave's future life. And Hold On by Tom Waits, both speaking very heavily to my heart's current health. South by Southwest is on in the city, so Austin is alive. It's a huge music and multimedia festival, and you don't even need to buy a pass because every single bar or cafe in the city is rocking and rolling with live bands and acoustic acts every single hour of the day. It's heaven. We catch a free outdoor show by the amazing Foxy Shazam and get pleasantly day drunk as we bar hop and enjoy the atmosphere. Dave looks a lot like the actor Jake Gyllenhaal. And celebrities frequent South by Southwest. We use this to our advantage. Bar owners and security guards and cops are all asking for autographs or offering VIP passes into clubs. We never outright say who he is or isn't, but we enjoy the opportunity. We go out for dinner, and Dave realizes he's left his card at the bar. I wait for him, but he doesn't return. 2 hours go by. No Dave. I leave my ID with the manager, and I hunt through, retracing our steps, worried that he's hurt or worse, inverting our Marco Polo game from Memphis. But this is Austin during South by Southwest. There's a million Daves answering my call. Finally, miraculously, I see him. I get his attention. He runs and leaps into my arms, and we fall to the ground laughing, happy to have each other in each other's arms once more. Turns out, he got confused and disoriented and fell asleep in an alleyway. Classic Dave. I shake my head and laugh. We find the car and return to our motel, ready to begin the journey home the next morning. I call Sarah. No answer. Are we strangers now? Like the Ziegfeld Broadway show. If I am a stranger now to you, I will always be. The road home is long. It's 16 hours to Bloomington. We're determined to make it in one go. We're nearing the end of the list, so the songs are very good and bittersweet. Highway to Hell and Turn the Page feel almost too appropriate. We laugh again as we learn that we both have Alison Krauss's When You Say Nothing at All, near number 89. Somewhere about halfway, it all hits me, and I break down. I tell Dave about everything. I tell him about Elise, about Heartbreak Hotel, about the things that Sarah has said and done, the time she's hit me, hurt me, cut me, broke me. He listens, and I feel guilty as we breeze by some of his list. Beth Orton, Concrete Lawn, Kate Bush, Lone Bar. But Dave is a higher functioning being. Dave wants to be everywhere, everyone, everything. He wants me to have peace. He tells me what he sees. I'm stuck. I'm being abused. Just because I'm big doesn't mean I'm not a victim. He believes in me. He believes I can beat this. He's gonna help. I don't want to go back to her. I don't want to go back to the hell I've been calling a life, and I'm scared I will. And Dave says he will make sure that I won't. I'm starting with a man in the middle. I'm asking him to change his ways. No message, ain't clear. Want to make the world a better place. Yourself and make a change. Man in the Mirror was number 267 on my list. It's number 5 on Dave's. I listen to it, and I feel the universe move in me. I feel something snap. I gotta get out. I'm going to. Gotta make the change. Dave's number 2 is a song called The Babysitters Here by Darla Williams. He insists that we listen to it in complete silence. I'm thankful he does, as it moves us both to tears and chills. Then we get to Dave's number 1. Leaving on that midnight train to Georgia. Gladys Knight and the Pips. It's a beautiful end to that segment of the trip, and a song that to this day makes me cry. We play my top 5, finishing out with my number 1 with Kern. Someday we'll find rainbow connection, lovers, dreamers, and leaves me. We still have an hour to go till home. We listen to Man in the Mirror on repeat. Dave is giving me love and positive energy, and I feel like I can do anything. Leaving will be a snap. We get to my apartment. Sarah is still about an hour away from home. Dave comes up and we move out all of my things. No excuses. Time to end this. He gives me a big hug. We share a moment of silence with the adventure we just completed. It leaves me to do as Michael says. Make that change. Sarah's 5 minutes away, and I relapse. I can't do it. I text Dave and I apologize. I tell him I'm chickening out, man. I know this is going to be the last time we see each other. She's going to flip at me when she sees that you helped me move out, and I'm sorry. I love you, buddy, but I can't do it. Dave texts me back 3 words. All caps. Make that change, and I'm suddenly renewed, filled with energy once again. I can do it. I feel so with pride and confidence. The universe moves in me. The door to the apartment opens. And I start with me. I used to end the show right there. A lot of people complained. Because if you'd seen Beer Spot Song in my previous show, the number 1 question I got asked all the time was, what happened when you left Sarah? And I said, no, I'm going to answer that in the next show. Then I finished the show and realized I didn't answer it. So I wrote this song. This is the epilogue song. I'll answer all your questions. Sarah took my leaving well. She didn't cry. She didn't yell, just a sigh and a knowing look across her face. That was a facade, of course, but she knew better than to make it worse. A sad embrace, we went our separate ways. In the coming weeks I found she had indeed been sleeping around. It didn't hurt. Just kind of set me free. Though she tried a few times to get our love to shine, I took that word back, not her. I redefined it. Now I find love in a million new ways every day. In a smile from a stranger, a hug from a friend, a handshake, a lock of eyes. And a breeze at my back, and a cat on my lap. In the arms of my wife. In 500 songs, in 1,000 miles, in a good story, in a clear night. Keep your eyes open to the love all around your life. Things got a little crazy after that. She got engaged to her lover. She stole my cat. She did. But the bad stuff ain't what I want y'all to take away. See, I was gone by the time Dave said those 3 words to me. They said, make that change. I know what they mean. You can hide and I love you in any words you choose to say. Like, let's grab a coffee. Let's grab a beer. Hey, friend, it's been too long. Even in a sarcastic fuck you asshole, or hey, check out this song. And I miss you, dear, and I need you near. And thanks for coming tonight. Keep your eyes open to the love all around your life. And it did end it there for a while. I did the show. I did a run of the show in California. That was the ending. I wrote the epilogue song for that run. It didn't feel fully finished, but I couldn't figure out what else to do to it. So I let it lie. And then I got a phone call in January that changed everything. So I wrote this verse, and this song and indeed this entire show is for Dave. Dave went to New York, I went to LA. We weren't moving on, just finding our way. I grew into myself, they grew into themselves too. We wrote, we visited, updated our lists. We dreamt of the sea, what life is. The memories gave us joy, as memories do. Dave and I stayed friends for life. They've moved on to the next one. They're here by my side. I feel their presence every time I play. See, Dave wanted to be everywhere, everyone, everything. They found a way how. They're living their dream. They're everywhere now. Power and love, my Dave. I love every face that I see in this room tonight. I love y'all even more. You buy some merchandise. I'll be waiting over there by that door for the handshake, the hug or a smile. I'll see you after a while. Just do one thing for old Brian. Keep your eyes open to the love all around your life. Oh, oh, keep your eyes open to the love all around your life. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thanks for watching. And I will let you know when I'm back from Canada with a hopefully tighter and quicker and more organized show and more memorized show. I really appreciate you being here and sharing the story in mine and Dave's adventure. And it means a lot that you're here. Thank you for coming and appreciate you so much. Love you guys. Thank you.
If you guys would like to throw a little bit of paper this way, you know, keep that on board and get him here.
Yep.
Because he's slayed.
The golden sleigh.
Yeah.
Golden
And he's in great fashion. I know it's awful, but it wasn't much that needed.
Yes.
There's a piece of paper there that if you want to Venmo or PayPal, you can write here. Just wear it out. No one's gonna know, but if you want to, you know, maybe.
Thank you, Kim. And thanks to Kim and Justin again for letting me be here. Please, thank you so much.
Thank you guys.